finding something over the course of these last, say, 11 games, looking for their 10th win in 11. Couple of legends, and still got it. The 41-year-old.
LeBron James.
Climbs the ladder from Marcus Smart. Beautiful alley-oop here. Now out on the run, James still with the big bounce. 18 points, 8 for 8 from the floor in the first half, which ties the most field goals without a miss in a half in his career. Kevin Durant, 2 in the first half. Second time in his career with 2 or less in consecutive halves, but you know that he's going to find something, and he does as the Rockets take the lead into the third. Durant working down the lane with the floater, and it rattles home. Heads to the line for the free throw. The lead is 4. Luka Doncic working on KD. Down the lane, nobody to stop the ball, and the Lakers are within 3. To the fourth. Woo-woo-woo! Doncic. James fouled hard. We got a funny bone situation as James hits the deck, gets up, heads to the free throw line, makes the free throw to tie the game. Now the Lakers up 1. Luka, all 3 of these. That's what I bleep and do. Yep. And he does this as well. Luka up top. James again. Unlimited rise from the 41-year-old. Now it's Luka putting Jabari Smith on skates. Another 3. He goes for 49 boards and 10 assists, and they've got 7 victories in a row. It's a pleasure to welcome back to the show Luka Doncic. Luka, Scott Van Pelt here on SportsCenter. Thanks for your patience, and congrats on a monster night with a 40-point game. You all have won 7 in a row. What would you say you all are finding over the course of these last 11 games where you all have won 10 of them?
I think it starts with our defense. I think the effort and the communication is the top level of the season. And then we just like playing with each other. I think everybody's having fun on the court, and that's when things go good.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly shows. And you know how this works, Luka, right? When something new comes together, we want it instantly to look like it's been there forever, right? You're smiling because you know what it's about, right? How's it going to look? Luka, LeBron, blah, blah, blah. Well, over time, it feels like roles become defined and things become more comfortable. How much is that part of what we're seeing as well?
I mean, that's a big thing for us. And right now, I think we're in a great spot. I think LeBron had an amazing game today, and AR had a great game. So sometimes it's going to be me, sometimes it's going to be AR, sometimes it's going to be LeBron. So we just got to deal with that, and I think we're on a great pace to do that.
I'm laughing as I look at the notes I've got here. He's 41. Like, you're one of those guys, Luka, because you've been in the league so long, you know, it feels like you're 41 too. Obviously, you're still in your 20s. But I want you to picture you, 40-something years old, trying to hang on for dear life to your hair, still out there playing at this level. What does this man show you and show all of us on a nightly basis to be able to play where he's at still?
It's pretty amazing, like I said, always me at 41. I'm probably not going to be playing basketball, but just to see every day what things he do, it's unbelievable, and it's a pleasure just to watch it and witness it every day.
Now, you're going to be the nightmare that walks into the gym like wearing like slides and a cut-off, tank top, and you're going to give somebody 100. You'll be that guy because you're never going to lose the love of ball, I'm sure. All right, let me close with this. Everybody's talking Thunder. They should. They've earned it. A lot of people talking Spurs. You'll never sneak up on anyone because you're the Lakers and it's you and Bron and everyone else. I just wonder how you view yourselves in the West with a chance to win a chip, given the way you all have played in the last month.
I think the West, you have an amazing teams, like you say. Obviously, Thunder, Spurs are at the top. But then you have so many more teams that surprise you. But we always believe, like I say, if you don't believe, you shouldn't be here. So we always believe in ourselves. We're going to go play every game like it's our last.
Big 40-point night, man. I appreciate you taking the time to throw the headset on. We'll talk to you again down the road, man. Stay well, all right?
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yes, indeed. Yep, you as well. Right. Luka Doncic and the Lakers have won 7 consecutive games. You see where things stand in the Western Conference at the moment. Again, Thunder and Spurs have a line underneath them. They've earned that. But here come the Lakers. Objects in the rear view closer than they might appear. Tim Legler joins us now, kind enough to hang out after seeing this victory. And Legs, this Laker team's finding something here. You've seen a number of these wins. What are you seeing from them?
I think two things, Scott. First of all, offensively, the flow is just completely different. And I think it's because LeBron James has understood he has to have a different role. Now, tonight he was an explosive scorer, and he took advantage of all his opportunities, almost had a perfect night from the field. But it's how they initiate their offense. That's what looks different. And as a result, there's a more natural flow to it. And all three of their best players are in sync right now. But the other factor, Scott, is the defensive effort, energy, and commitment. Like, that has not been there all year, and there is no doubt it's there now. And is that because, they're starting to win and it's creating this energy on that end, or was the energy starting first? And that's what's led to this winning streak. That's a debate. But I think when you look at them defensively, they don't mirror the team that I saw earlier in the year that were prone to these lapses in games where I thought they lost concentration or they did not play hard enough. They're competing right now defensively, and you saw it really the entire game tonight, particularly first half and how they closed the game.
I want to expound upon that LeBron piece, because you're talking about, depending on what chair you're sitting in a barbershop, the greatest of all time or one of the greatest of all time, who at 41 still, as you saw tonight, plenty of game. But to acquiesce, to slide a bit in your role and recognize, all right, Luka's squad, this is his thing. I'm going to be whatever I need to be. That takes a lot, I would think. And I'm just interested in how you think they've gotten to this seemingly more comfortable place.
Particularly when you're still able to dominate, like LeBron can on some nights, to relinquish that level of control and understand, like, the lane has to be different for this all to work. It is. It's a massive thing for a star player to be able to accept that, but it's what's unlocked all of this. And I think you talk to anybody in the Lakers, they're going to say the same thing. It's that recognition and acceptance that has really unleashed what you're seeing right now out of this team. And this version of the Lakers that we saw tonight, and we've watched now over the last 3 or 4 weeks, this is a formidable problem for the Western Conference when they give you this level commitment defensively, and there is a natural order and flow to their offense that's obviously led by Luka Doncic.
We're like an old married couple. You read my mind there, because last time you were with us, we talked about the top, and it's clearly the Thunder and the Spurs. I think they've earned that place. But the Lakers are the Lakers, baby, and they've got superstars, and they've got guys that have done it. Are they a fun team to watch in the playoffs that's really not a threat to go deep, or are they a threat to go deep?
Well, put it this way. They're trending in that direction of maybe representing a problem for a couple of those top teams. Now, you're right. As we sit here today, you're clearly picking, we all are, Oklahoma City or San Antonio. They've been the two best teams in the West. They can beat you on both ends of the floor. They've got great depth. They're tough. You name it. They've got superstars at the top. They've got all of that. The Lakers didn't look like they were close to that league for a long time. They're approaching that territory. You still wouldn't look at them and say, yeah, I'd take them in a 7-game series over those top two. But if they continue this over the remaining part of the regular season, they're going to position themselves where a lot of people are going to look at that and say, hey, do you really want to play this team the way that they're playing right now? They've got to keep it up. Consistency is the key. They've done it now for about a month. Can they do it here the rest of the way and represent a true challenge to the hierarchy in the Western Conference? That's the question that remains for them.
7 in a row, 10 of 11, and they looked the part. Tim, I've been spoiled these last 2 Wednesdays. Great to visit with you, my friend. I look forward to the next time we do.
Always great, Scott. You got it.
Repeatedly to figure out what it was I saw. Atlanta leading Dallas late third. Jonathan Kuminga, outlet. Wait, what? Kuminga. Can't believe what he did. FanDuel Sports Network Southeast. What you got to say?
Kuminga, 4 seconds. There's time. Jock at the other end. And Kuminga threw it in. It's a three-pointer. Jonathan Kuminga.
Oh, my God.
He threw it. The ball goes in the basket, and the Hawks can't believe it.
All smiles on the Atlanta side. 16 for Kuminga. The Hawks win by 15 over the Mavericks.
What's your budget on this show?
Let's check. Oh, it's expensive. Taking on the Nets, who, not so great. What are you wearing tonight, Shay? I'm not sure who that is. Someone fancy. Thunder favored by nearly 20, largest road favorite in the past 35 years. The MVP, 3 the hard way. Thunder up early. Shea through the contact down the lane. It's 21-9. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with the Nets having scored a robust 22 late in the second. Nets had 24 at the half. I mean, what are we doing? What's the point? Cason Wallace, Shea, and they win by 29 points. 29, and we have 130 consecutive 20-point games for SGA. Celtics and the Warriors. Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis back in the building. First time since being moved. Of course, spent some time in Boston. He's moved quite a bit. Capable and talented player. Speaking, of course, of Porzingis, I'd love to see him healthy. We know that Brown's been awesome. He's been playing at such a high level all year round. Here, the mid-range bucket. He had 23 first-half points and passes Dave Cowens. Look him up, kids. 10th most points in Celtics history. Sees lead by 13 at the break. Now Tatum working on Porzingis. A little hesitation. Beautiful drive. 24 points, tied for the most since coming back from injury. And then Tatum, a contested 3. That's good. Tatum and Brown pass Larry Bird and Robert Parrish for the 3rd most 20-plus point games by a duo in Celtics history. Celtics win by 21. Let's pivot to the tournament. Nothing quite like the energy and feeling of a Thursday, Friday. When the tournament's on, that iconic theme song comes on. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's noon. You're ready to go. Because you know there are 32 games over the course of a couple of days. In terms of what I am legitimately intrigued by Thursday, give me Troy and Nebraska. I'm going to tell you why. Cornhuskers started 20-0. They got to be a top 5 team. They've had a hugely successful year, but they have never won an NCAA tournament game in the history of their program. They arrived limping a little bit. They've lost 2 of 3. The only win was a win at home in overtime. Meanwhile, Troy, in its 2nd tournament in a row, that means they're familiar with the process and the bright lights and all that. They also get a key contributor back from injury in Theo Sang. I just wonder what kind of stress the Huskers are going to be dealing with. Now, I was big on South Florida before I had any idea who they would be facing on the bracket, and the news that Louisville will be without star freshman Mikel Brown only makes this one trickier for the 6th seed. And then let's move to a night game on Thursday. Not a ton of coin flip games out there. BYU, Texas, small number. And the guy who hangs the biggest numbers in America, A.J. DeBonsa, takes on the team where his idol, Kevin Durant, spent his 1 season in college. Speaking of the first team All-American. Pleasure to welcome to the program A.J. DeBonsa, BYU and Texas in Portland on Thursday. A.J., welcome to the show for the first time. Scott Van Pelt here. It feels like the year flies by in a hurry, but then I started thinking, hold up now. I didn't have to go through that Big 12 schedule. It felt like every night we're on after one of your games and it's Arizona or it's Houston or it's Kansas. And I'm like, man, that's a lot. You tell me what it was like, that Big 12 schedule and running through that gauntlet.
That's exactly what I was about to say. They call Big 12 the gauntlet. It's the gauntlet for a reason. Like, there's about, I'll say, 5 to 6 teams that can win it all from the Big 12. I know we had 8 that made the tournament, but I mean, I think it's the toughest schedule, the toughest conference in the country.
Your freshman class is absolutely loaded, and we talked to Burries and we talked to Boozer, and I could go down the list. We've talked to a number of these guys, and there's always good freshmen. And you guys always know each other from AAU and USA or whatever. But it feels like this group is deeper and maybe more connected. I don't know. Were you all in touch throughout the season as you guys in all these different conferences are playing at as high a level as you were?
In touch, no. I don't talk to a lot of the freshmen. I'm cool with a couple of them.
Right.
Like I talked to Michael Barron various times. Chris Ack, me and him talk a lot. But I mean, like, I think since we've been with each other since like the main hoop circuit, like 8th grade, and we kind of just grew up watching each other. We kind of seen everybody's game expand together. I think it just makes life, a lot more exciting, and the fact that we're all going up together.
But there's a fine line, right, AJ, between being cool with each other and like competing. Because like, let's be honest with each other. I mean, when we get to June, like there's only one guy that can go number one, and I imagine that that's a competitive thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, we're cool off the court. Texting, hopping on FaceTime calls, but when it's in between those lines, like, everybody want to kill each other.
Right.
And that's the beauty of basketball.
What do you enjoy most about just being a freshman? Like, we all go to college to figure out what we're going to do. I think we understand where your path's going to head, right? But, like, just being a student, what did you enjoy?
Yeah, being a student at BYU was definitely fun. I did a lot of my classes in person, actually. So I'm in like 3 in-person classes, and I'll just be sitting front row, just trying to interact with people, do group activities, do group projects, and everything like that. It's kind of fun.
I don't love comparison in sports, AJ, because a lot of times it doesn't do anyone any favors. And a lot of times, in my opinion, it's just dumb. But look, I watch you play. I watch Kevin Durant play, and it doesn't take a lot to see what it is. There's a lot of similarities there. I know how much it meant to you to smash his records in the Big 12 with the scoring as you just did. How much of his approach to the game have you tried to mirror?
Yeah, definitely his work ethic. I had the blessing to work out with him in LA a couple years ago. And I've been to various of his games to see all his warm-ups, and he just takes it super serious. He goes 200% every single time, so I try to incorporate that to my routine.
All right, my guy Marcus Spears, who I work with, has a son who's maybe a #1 player in the 27 class, and he was explaining to me when he took June to see Kevin work out, that's what blew his mind. Like, this guy's that good, and he works out that hard. Did that strike you as well, AJ, to see someone who's an all-timer that puts in that kind of work?
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at it, it all makes sense. Like, you wouldn't be that good if you're not putting in that much effort, that much time into your craft.
Yeah, without question. All right, I'm going to close with this. Just sort of the runway that's in front of you here. Like, how do you approach tomorrow night against Texas? Speaking of Kevin Durant, just the opportunity that you have in front of you, 40 minutes on the clock, and then potentially more from there. How do you look at whatever runway you have left here in this tournament?
I just trust our team. I trust my teammates, follow the game plan. Just be ourselves, stick to our identity, and we should be good for 6.
All right, I'm going to say this on the air. I said it off the air. Man, you showed up wearing a bullseye, right? I wasn't sure. Can you be as good as they said? And you weren't. You were better. You've been awesome all year, man. I look forward to watching 11th straight victory. In the second quarter, they're up 9, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker all alone up top. Catch and shoot. That's good. Hawks up a dozen. Apropos of nothing, these Mavs old school green unis, spectacular. There's Alexander Walker in transition. Atlanta leads by double digits at the break. Early third, Jalen Johnson picks off the pass, and he'll find C.J. McCollum on the drive. Up 14 after the made free throw. Johnson had 17 points, 11 boards, 9 assists, and Atlanta playing from comfortably ahead. Now, this is credited as the longest shot by any player since 2023. This is an outlet. We're going to give Jonathan Kuminga, he's going to get the 3 points, so I guess it does count as a shot. It certainly wasn't. Hawks would win by 15 and have won 11 consecutive. They're 7 over 500. Nuggets taking on the Grizzlies. Early first quarter, Nuggets trailing by 5 on the road. Jokic, and that's out to Christian Brown on the wing, who's all alone. Jokic is just like a lead blocker. Brown had 26. Jokic, teardrop. Why didn't he get the foul call? Sell it, fall down. They're tied at 60 heading into the second. Jokic had 29 and 14. Memphis leading by 7. Ty Jerome with 21. Grizzlies pulling away. Where are they? Here we go. In transition, Tyler Burton through the contact, and that's 3 the hard way. And now it's Cedric Coward. Speaking of through the contact, Memphis had lost 8 in a row. They get the victory by 7 over Denver. It's a surprising result. Not as surprising as this one, as the Clippers take on the Pelicans. Kawhi back from an ankle injury. Clips up by 6, ball fake. That's fundies, youngsters. 19 in the first half for Kawhi. Clips lead by 8. Trey Murphy, the third high-arcing bucket there. We're tied 60 apiece at the break. Nice. Speaking of fundies, bounce pass, ball movement. This is crisp. That's Zion with 2. Hands lead by 2. Murphy, contested step back 3. It's Flappa. And the Pelicans have an 11-point lead. Sadiq Bey had 5 made threes and 25 points. Hands continue to lead somewhat comfortably. DeJounte Murphy hangs and drops that one in. 23, another look. That's beautiful. Win number 24 on the year for the Cans. Significant news from the WNBA. After a prolonged labor battle, WNBA and the Women's National Basketball Players Association reached a verbal agreement on the terms of a new CBA 51 days before the league's 30th season is set to tip off. Formal term sheet needs to be finalized. The agreement's pending ratification by players in the WNBA Board of Governors, basically just dotting the I's, crossing the T's. The players will be paid quite a bit more under the new agreement. Salary cap more than quadrupling, now starting at $7 million. Average salary will be 5 times as high as last year, while the minimum salary will be higher this year than the Supermax was last year. Now, the significance of the deal is that it happened at all, given where things stood in the fall with stars calling for the ouster of Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. It's a league that had momentum and players who had leverage to ask for more, and they got it. They feel empowered. Engelbert calls it a win-win for everyone. Fantastic. Now, they got to sprint prior to the season and squeeze in a ton to a very small window, including expansion drafts for the 2 new teams, Portland and Toronto, free agency and the draft. That's all before opening night. That is May the 8th.